tropical forest.
I am terrified of another lockdown. We're all terrified of losing a job again.
If you can't be honest with me, I'll be honest with you. You know how I told your father I got herpes from a yoga mat? Well, I didn't.
I hate growing up.
Whole life washed out to sea.
I don't know if I've ever been happier. You know?
Grandma's always saying, you're gonna be the wolf or the rabbit. Better choose smart.
It is what it is. Life gives you lemons. You better make a fierce lemonade.
I never did much with my life, but my baby girl, she's one thing I did right.
I know that life is pretty tough sometimes, but there are always people who care. All you have to do is seek them out.
And you live happily ever after.
All right. That was the sizzle reel for the 2022 Queens World Film Festival. My name is Mr. M, board member and director of communications with Queens World Film Festival. And today I have a pleasure of talking with an actress who also was a festival associate for Queens World Film Festival 2022. And the Film Festival Associates, if you don't know, if you didn't catch the previous broadcast that I did, they are the lifeblood of the festival. They are the people who make the film festival run smoothly, to say the very least. So today we will be talking to Miss Sandra Bilu. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to read her bio. Miss Sandra Bilu is a SAG actor who performs in film, television, commercial, print, and theater productions. All right. Most of her work can be found on IMDb. The most recent being a production called One Way In, No Way Out, in which she is one of the lead actors portraying a Colombian cartel member. She is also a producer on the production. All right. When Miss Bilu is not actively participating in filmmaking, she's busy running a real estate firm and construction company, both which she started some years ago. She is a licensed real estate professional, active investor, construction manager, and property manager. She holds an MBA and has had a lucrative career in banking, financial planning, real estate, and acting. To Miss Bilu, the sky is the limit, and the limit is the sky. Miss Bilu is also an avid traveler and linguist and has traveled to over 44 countries and 4 continents and counting, both for business and pleasure. She is fluent in English and Spanish with proficiency in Portuguese, Italian, French, some Hebrew. and a few others. She's also a runner for physical fitness proponent and practitioner. Miss Bilu is the proud mother of 3 young ladies. And after that impressive bio, I'm pleased to introduce Miss Bilu herself. Thank you for being here with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your time. It was a pleasure meeting you. I met you through your partner, Malcolm Boyd. I had the pleasure of talking with him the other day, and we had a great conversation. And, in true networking fashion, he said, "Hey, you should talk to Sandra as well." And I was like, "I would like that." But it was great meeting you at the closing night. I believe I was able to meet you at the closing night, events at the film festival. So first, I want to start with, first of all, great, very impressive bio, right? So when you talk to people and you meet them for the first time, they don't run their resume down, right? It's
That's not really the resume. That's just a portion of it. That's a very succinct version of my life.
Right. I would imagine, right? You don't do all of that without having so much nuances to that. But, like I was saying, when you meet somebody, they're not going to run their resume down to you unless they're really pretentious and say, "Hey, I do this, I do that, I do this."
Right.
So you just meet people and you just get to know them on a human basis, right? Which that was very pleasant, meeting you and, but everything that I just read and the things that I can imagine that I don't know of, that hopefully we can scratch the surface in this talk, is, like I said, is very impressive. And I'm happy that and honored that we met, and I'm glad that you had the time and you took the time to work at Queens World Film Festival. So thank you for that, for being
You're welcome. It was my pleasure. Actually, I was honored to be there. I enjoy doing things like that. I enjoy film festivals. And I've been to several of them in the past few years since I've been in this acting and filmmaking world. And I can say that has been definitely the best yet, the best organized, the after parties, just the way everyone was treated, the ceremonies and giving people their honors for what they had produced. It was absolutely the best one I've been to thus far.
Right. I want to say thank you for that. And I want to salute to Katha and Preston Cato, the founders of the festival. And, they really, I said this before, I'll continue to say it. I'll say it for the rest of my life, because I got to hold them up for what they did for me as a film festival, as a filmmaker, first and foremost. But they really care about the filmmakers. They really care about the films themselves. And it really shows in the actual fruits of their labor.
That's true. It does show. They treat everyone with such respect. And you can tell that they really put a lot of effort into it, that they actually watched all of those films. And they tried to make sure that everyone else got to see them too. So you could see that the filmmakers, they made them feel so special. I mean, they were special, but this festival made them feel even greater. And that's all part of the process. Is the better they feel, the better they can produce. And the better they produce, the more likely they're going to get out there and make the world happy with what they're doing.
Absolutely. In the words of Katha, don't put those cameras down.
Right.
So tell me, let's backtrack a little bit. Like I said, the synopsis of your resume, which is the bio, is very impressive. There's a lot going on there. But as in regards to film industry itself, let's start there. How did you get into film, acting, producing, etc.? What led you into this world of film?
Well, it's a long story. I guess I'll start with, I feel that I've been acting all of my life. I think that everyone is an actor, whether they know it or not. Most of what we do in life requires some form of acting. When you go for a job interview, that's acting. When you're a kid in school, to get what you want from your teachers, from your professors, from whatever it is, that's all acting, but people don't see it as such. And the better actor a person is throughout their life, the more achievements they tend to have. So that's number one. Some years ago, I started, someone very close to me in my life passed away. And as a pastime to get over that, I started going out to theater almost every night of the week. I was living in South Jersey near Philadelphia. And so I was going over to Philadelphia to go to all of these productions. And the more I went, I used to take my kids with me and they stopped wanting to go. They're like, oh, mommy, this is really too much. But I was enjoying it so much and it was taking my mind off of this death. But then I realized, I used to do that when I was a kid. My mother used to take me to theater and take me to plays and take me to everything. But somewhere along life, as I began to open these businesses and work all the time, I stopped really having time for the arts. But after this happened, I just took a slow down and I said, well, kids, would you guys like to start acting? And they said, well, since you're always taking us, yeah, maybe we'd rather act than go see acting all the time. So I started by getting the kids involved. And all three of my children have had roles in film productions. The oldest was in a few commercials. And then the younger ones did a few, first they did some extra work. They didn't like that. And both of them sing, my younger two. So one of them has sang at the Apollo. Her name is Talia Lee. And from there, they said, well, they wanted to go on with their studies and they didn't like that extra work. So one now is at the new school. Talia is at the new school studying voice. And she's also the one who sang at the Apollo. And I said, well, if you guys don't like doing it, I have some time now because the way I carved out my businesses, I have time on my hands. So I'll start doing it. So that's how I started doing it. And that was about 5.5, 6 years ago.
That's a wonderful story.
Yes.
That's a leap of faith, but it's also like, again, a labor of love, right?
It is. It really is. Yeah. And I enjoyed it right from the beginning. I said, wow, I've been missing out on something. This is a lot of fun. And I'm the kind of person who I do whatever it is I do, but then it always comes to a point where it's not enough. So when I was a banker, for example, I reached the level of being a VP in the bank, but that just wasn't still enough. And it was hard to reach the next level. So, I said, maybe I'll do something else. So then I moved into financial planning. And then I moved, and so I just keep moving. So this has to be about my 8th career. And so far, I'm really loving it. But again, we're always trying to move to a new level. So now the next level is the film production. And when I got here to New York, Malcolm had just gotten here. We met each other and he had his books already written and he was trying to promote those books. And I said, something? Because I'm an entrepreneur. I think that the best thing to do here is going to be to do it yourself. If we do it ourselves, believe me, it will take off after that. Mm-hmm. And that's the history that was written because now that's what's happening.
So Malcolm, your partner, right? You met him upon you both moving to New York at the same time? Is that what I heard?
Yes. Well, I hadn't moved to New York yet, but he had. I was commuting from South Jersey, coming up here on a regular basis. This is like 90 miles away, so it's about an hour and a half on the train.
Right.
So I was just commuting, and it was easy to commute back then because you didn't have to do COVID tests and all these other things. You just come and do what you had to do, and then you could leave. And if I had to stay over, I would just stay in a hotel or whatever. But it became so busy,
right,
that I knew that we had to make a move. And so,
were you raised in South Jersey?
I was raised in Philadelphia.
You were raised in Philadelphia, okay.
Philadelphia,
Okay. All right.
That's where I was raised. I went to school in Pennsylvania and also here in New York. So I lived in New York earlier in life before I had my children. Then I moved out to South Jersey to a place called Morristown, New Jersey, about 10 miles from Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And I lived there until I came back here again when I started doing the acting.
So when you say you went to school in New York, you went to college in New York?
Yeah, I went to, my master's degree was from Pace University in New York.
Okay, all right.
I went to the White Plains campus and also the campus by Brooklyn Bridge.
Right. That was right down the block from where I went to school. I went to BMCC. So I had a friend that went to Pace. I used to come up the block and go to your parties and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I never went to parties and all. I was in the graduate program, so it was already.
Oh yeah,
I was working full time, and back then I was working in the airlines. So this is what I mean. How I've just keep switching careers, and each one has been a wonderful experience because they all assist with the acting. Absolutely. You ask me, the more things one has done in life, the better actor you can become because you've had the experiences that you have to incorporate into that character that you're forming.
100%. The better actor, the better writer, the better producer, the better director. I agree. Because I did a lot of work in youth development, right?
Yes.
I remember in like some of the meetings would be a little redundant, and there would be a lot of characters like in the meeting.
Yeah.
It's always the person who wants the meeting to go over.
Mm-hmm.
So the meeting's over, and and then somebody has to
That's
ask,
something to say.
are there any questions? And somebody's like, well, and
Yes,
so
yes.
but in those moments, I used to find myself jotting down characteristics of different people in the meeting, and
Yeah.
making storylines around what they must be thinking, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so. And I never did anything with that work, but it just made me practice. And that was around the time I made my first film. It just had me
Okay.
practice, writing, right?
Right, right.
Character development. So I agree with you 100%. And then, like
That's
you
so
said,
important.
yeah, it's very important. Even as an actor, you got to tap in to different
Right.
characters. Some people, when they act, they tend to play the same character, and,
Yeah.
and they're boring to watch. But a great actor, I would imagine, is a people watcher, somebody that you can sit down on a
Someone who imitates life. Yes.
exactly.
Mhm.
Kind of like those dates you see on TV where they'll say, "What's that person's story?" And
Yeah. Yeah.
story around the person. Yep.
True. And it makes me think of some things that I did. Right around 9/11, when the World Trade Center came down, I was taking my children to their respective schools and daycares.
Mhm.
And I remember, particularly after that happened and finding out who was being blamed for it and all,
Mhm.
people became really scared of anyone who looked Muslim or was Muslim.
Absolutely.
And so because I was always a social experimenter, decided that I was going to wear a Muslim outfit that I had purchased in the United Arab Emirates.
Mhm.
And I was going to go to school in my black Mercedes wearing that outfit to pick up my daughter. And I did that a few days after 9/11. And boy, you should have seen the reaction of people.
I'm
It
sure.
was like you could see they just wanted to kill me. And they were also scared of me at the same time because I guess they were thinking, what did I have under the habaya that I was wearing?
Right.
And it was fascinating. I just said, wow, look how they're reacting. And don't they realize it's the same car? Can't they see I'm the same person? They couldn't see any of that. They were just blinded by the outfit.
Right.
So
That's
the outfit alone was so powerful.
right. That's
And
amazing.
I've been tapped to play Muslim people, especially if it's on a Saturday.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing story. Like, and what's the term you use? You said a social experimenter. Was that?
Yeah, I do social experiments,
Mhm.
and I still do them, where I'll dress up as something. For example, on Halloween, I wore the day before Halloween, I wore a white hair wig, and it was just totally white hair. And I put on an outfit which was kind of shabby a little bit, and I walked around 33rd and Park. And at one point I said, this is so fascinating. People keep looking, but they're not looking too hard because it's New York, but they're looking, but it's still looking a little more than they look on the normal look. So I said, let me stop and take a picture so I can get a picture of myself. I was by myself. I put the camera, I was putting it on self timer, and I was positioning it. And then lo and behold, here comes a woman who says, do you live around here? And I looked at her, but I was taken aback because I wasn't really thinking of what she meant.
Right.
And I just said, I'm setting up for a picture. She said, but do you live here? I said, no, I don't live here. And I thought, why is she asking me? And then I remember what I had on and what really was going on in her mind. She probably thought maybe I was hobo in the area. I don't know. But whatever it was so ridiculous. And I think something about the way I talked to her made her say, oh, okay. And then she walked on. But then I felt like, wow, why did she go through all of that? That was so unnecessary.
Well, first of all, that's very impressive being a social experimenter, right? The social experiments. And I can tell because what I was about to congratulate you on is it's obvious that when you segue into other careers in your life, because you say you've been through 8 different professions, it's obvious that, you start similar to where you left the other career. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you continue to grow, right?
Continue to grow. It's very important.
And your work ethic is shining through. So as you're telling me this story, it's reminding me, and I know you understand this because you're an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
It's really market research, right? It's
right.
The same thing you would do when you're about to open a business, or if you're about to shoot a film, you research that location. If you're about to open a business, you kind of learn the market, learn the people that patronize that type of business. So what you're doing is very impressive. So I can only imagine that your work as an actress is A1 because all of the work that you're putting into it, even in your regular life, how you can incorporate those skills and translate them. That's amazing.
Right. And I've always considered myself to be sort of a chameleon anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend who calls me the chameleonaire
Mm-hmm.
because I can really transform. And I find that I don't know if this works for everyone, but depending on what I'm wearing is how I feel.
Yeah.
So I feel the outfit.
Right.
If I'm dressed as a homeless person and I've done homeless roles, I actually feel homeless. I will go up to people and say, "Come on, can just have so I'm really hurting. Just give me," and they don't know. The only thing that may fool them is if I pull this out and they say, "Oh, okay, now we can see."
Right.
Homeless people don't have that kind of phone. They may have a phone, but it's not an Apple.
So let me ask you. Would you consider yourself a method actor?
I believe that I am, but unlike most method actors, I don't. So I'm a quasi method actor, if there's any such thing, because method actors tend to go into their act for the whole time that they're doing that program. So if they're doing it for a month, they are that person for the whole month.
Correct.
I can't really afford to do that in the life that I'm living.
Right.
Because I have to go in and out of different roles in order to fulfill my business responsibilities, as well as my acting responsibilities and my home responsibilities and my children responsibilities. So I'm not able to do that without, maybe ending up in a straitjacket.
But that's even more impressive of a skill, being able to put it off, to take it off.
Yeah, you have to.
So you put on the outfit, get into character.
Right.
And
take it off when it's over.
Take it off. Yeah, and leave it at work.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. That's dope. So when I spoke to Malcolm, he gave me like a little bit of a kind of a backstory of how he was introduced to the Queens World Film Festival. I'm assuming you were introduced to the Queens World Film Festival through his relationship, or did you?
Yes, through his.
Okay. Yes. And what was your experience, being onboarded into the Queens World Film Festival and becoming a festival associate? What was that like?
Well, I'm actually looking forward to doing it again, to doing a lot more of it. I've always enjoyed getting up in front of people and talking and introducing, and I've always been able to make people feel good. And I feel that that's exactly what I did during the introductions and the program that I hosted with Malcolm. Because he had hosted another one, he let me do most of the talking. And first of all, I'm very detail oriented. I see everything. So I really watch those films with an eye for the detail. And both of those films were great. One was a short, and then the one with the nuns was a feature film, regular length. Mm-hmm. But the films brought out so much humanity, and you could feel it. And they were on the topic of lesbianism or homosexuality, mm-hmm. but they were presented in such a way that there was no way you could disconnect from the film, no matter what your feelings are about the subject.
Right.
So the directors did a great job. It was just wonderful, and I enjoyed those films. So when they came up, I think they understood that I enjoyed it, right. And so they were able to present themselves in a happier way, knowing that it was an enjoyable film to the people who were presenting.
Right, knowing that they were understood and they were seen.
Yes, understood, saw it, enjoyed it. For example, the one about the nuns, even at the end, I said, I will never look at nuns the same again. Never.
So one thing Queens World Film Festival has a niche in doing is getting films with true passion, right? They don't really have, I've never seen like a cookie cutter film at this festival. I never seen something that was like, oh, this is just a film about A, B, and C, and we did it the way you expected, and there's no plot twist, or the plot twist is obvious. It's like, no, you have to be putting your whole, mind, body, and soul into that film. And when you do, they recognize it, right? So I can only imagine that that's what you're describing. That's what you saw. That's what you were able to witness.
Definitely. And we also had gone to a preview of all of the films a few weeks before.
At the trailer party?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were there and we saw those, and it was great. I mean, I sat there in awe watching all of them. I said,
Right.
wow, I wish I could actually be on the committee and watch each one too, all the way through, because they were all worth watching.
Be careful what you ask for.
Well,
Listen, I was also on the screening committee this year. It was it was not easy. We had over 700 films submitted
I know. It was
to
a lot.
watch everyone. Me personally, I was able to watch a nice amount of them.
Hmm.
I had to, I had to lean on my team for them,
Right. Right.
and watch the, all the other ones, because we don't watch them in pieces. We don't watch a piece of the film, and we watch.
Watch it all the way through.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it's very time consuming. Right, but
I would
one way of doing it. So if you end up on that committee next year,
Mhm.
one way of doing it is basically to just don't let it get past you. Like when they come in, watch them.
Okay.
Right? Instead of like, I'll get around to it, because I kept telling. That's how I end up slowing up. Right, I was like, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna dedicate a week, and then that week will come and it's like, but I got life, right? So you kind of got to watch them as they come in, and then
Right. I would imagine. Yeah, because how can you get backed up with something like that? You can't get backed up. Can't afford to get backed up.
not at all. But thank
Yeah.
goodness that Kathy and Don, they had the foresight to keep a big committee. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just one or two other people.
Right. Right.
It's a nice sized committee. So, and then we all put our notes and the spreadsheets. That's a little behind the scenes for everybody. So speaking of behind the scenes, right? Give us a little bit more of the experience of the being a festival associate at Queens World Film Festival. Give us a little bit more of what it's like.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could have been there more days.
Mhm.
There was a little scheduling issue that I had.
But we had 6 days this year. So.
But yeah, and then the party afterwards, where all of the film producers were honored, and you could just see there was just so much love. That's the only way I can describe the way it was feeling. It was love everywhere. People, everyone was networking and talking about their films and meeting each other. And a lot of people made contacts that they're continuing going forward. Maybe they will do some things together. So any environment where you get that type of result is definitely worth it, even if it's just for that. But this had so much more than just that.
Yeah. That's so you heard it here. All right. Take Mrs. Bilu's word for it.
Like our film, for example, One Way In, No Way Out, did not get in on time, but yet there was a lot of buzz and talk around the film.
Yeah, because like you said, the love is there. Everyone loves to network. That's always been my experience. I screened 2 times in the past, and it's always been about, hey, what are you doing? What do you have? How can I support? Right. So I can imagine that. And before we get into that piece that you're part of, the film that you're also producing, I just want to remind people that these great films that we're talking about, you can still watch them virtually. So if you go to filmfestivalflix.com and hit the Queens World Film Festival's logo, you'll see it there on the home page. You'll be able to see, I believe, 122 of the films. So not all of the films are part of the virtual fest, but 122 of them are. You can get an all access pass up until December 4th for $50, and you can watch all types of films. It doesn't matter what type of genre you're into, it's all there. So I just want to remind people that they can, go to filmfestivalflix.com. It's definitely worth it. And you might just want to watch some short films that are based on a certain theme, or animation films. And what you'll do is you'll go to that film block and or carousel of films, and for $10 you'll be able to see all of the films in that particular genre and or type of film. So now we got that plug out the way. Tell us a little bit more about this film project that you are not only an actress in, but a producer of.
Okay, the name of the film is One Way In, No Way Out, and it's produced and directed by Malcolm Boyd. I'm also one of the producers, as well as Lynn Boyd. And it is, well, we want everyone to see it. We're going to do a screening on it on December 17th, that's Saturday, and we'll give more details on that through you. we will give you that information. And also on Instagram, One Way In, No Way Out TV.tv. That's the Instagram link. One Way In, No Way Out .tv.
You know what? Let me because you know people are so phony. Let me follow right now. You know. So you're gonna say it one more time, and the audience are gonna be able to hear it one more time. So go ahead.
So it's One Way In. No Way Out.
Yeah.
.tv.
There we go. And I am following. You all should be following too. All right.
Right.
All right.
And also, it's from a trilogy of books that he wrote, Malcolm Boyd. And those books can be purchased on manwalker.com. You can find the books on that's 2 N's, MANN Walker.com.
Manwalker.com. Man with 2 N's, y'all.
Yes, because Man Walker is the main character in the book.
Okay. I like that. So basically, it seems like you all are also working on having your own distribution. Do I see that in the future?
Yes, definitely.
As you should. You should.
Yes, they're already distributed, as I said, on the site and also on Amazon. You can get them, but it's still better on the Man Walker site.
Well, I'm talking about your films in general.
Oh, the film, yes. Yeah. So in the film, I play a character called Leta Quintana, who is a Colombian cartel member.
Okay.
I have a brother who's also in the film. Not my real brother, but he's my brother in the film. And then you have Man Walker. These are the characters that are surrounding the situations that I'm in.
Right.
And basically, it's this Man Walker, who's played by Blake Carrington, walks around finding all types of trouble. If there's trouble to be found, he finds it and finds himself right in the center of it. But yet he's a likable person and a likable character. So even though he's doing all of these things that he shouldn't be doing, he's still likable.
Right.
And it just expands from there and it goes on and on. So we have a very good cast. We've won 4 film festivals already. One of them won Best Ensemble.
Congratulations.
Yes. And we're just moving forward with it because it is a lot of fun. But I have fun playing Leta. Leta speaks Spanish. I speak Spanish. She dresses a certain way, but I'm not going to tell you about that either because that's giving away too much.
Okay, well, let's not give away too much. People will be able to see it if you're in New York City.
Yes, we're in New York City.
December.
It's going to be at Kaufman Studios at the Zucker Theater.
Yes, December 16th. And I will be putting the Eventbrite in the description.
Yes.
Right? So feel free to click the links in the description. And I just feel like with all of this talking up of the project, I just want to see this this clip, this promotion.
Okay.
So let's get into that while we got the opportunity.
Okay.
Check this out, y'all.
She's full of surprises.
I can believe it. Let's see.
Our brother would beat you if he knew you were running around about our business.
Don't worry your head, mi bella hermana. I know just what I'm doing. You must forgive my sister. Oh, I'm sorry. This is my sister Leta. And my name is Nestor. And you are?
My name is Man Walker.
Leta. Está.
Shut your mouth, Nestor. I hear him. Please, man, do not listen to anything my brother says. As you see, he drinks entirely too much.
Well, I guess this conversation is over.
I'm sorry about my brother. Like I say, he drinks entirely too much. What exactly did he tell you?
I mean, not that much. It's about $20 million worth of coke missing. And your brother, a cartel. I mean, shit, he can really come up with some good ones, right? Right?
Damn him! Maldito borracho! Pendejo estúpido! Hablador! ¡Qué idiota!
All right, that looks spicy. It looks it looks like it's going to be some drama in there, and
There is, and it just goes more and more after that. She gets worse and worse.
looks like man is going to get into trouble. Right? He's going to find his way into a convoluted situation, and I'm definitely going to follow this project personally, and I have some friends who can't wait for the event themselves. So they're looking forward to the screening as well. So this is a series, correct?
Yes, but yes, it's episodic, and we've completed 2 episodes thus far, and we're moving on to the 3rd very soon.
Congratulations! How many episodes do you
We're aiming for 6 to 8.
6 to 8 for the first.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's usually what's necessary to put it on onto a platform.
Right. Mm-hmm. And will you be considering this your pilot season, or are we just going to just put it out in an atmosphere as it's on already, and we're going to have more seasons after this? What's the plans for the?
Oh yeah, the plan, because there are 3 books, so this is only a small section of the first book.
Oh wow!
And the 3rd book is being published probably within the next month or 2. Wow. So 2 books are already out, and they're each about 500 pages. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of content. This could go on for just like Law and Order or something like that forever. Yeah. It could go on forever. Well, and we want it to go on forever.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wish you the best with that. I hope so as well. And that's amazing. I definitely want to, encourage you to keep that spirit of entrepreneurship alive.
Yes.
It's not easy, as I know you know.
Nothing good in life comes easy.
At all.
You have to work for it. But the things that you work for in an entrepreneurial sense tend to give so much greater benefit.
I agree. Mm-hmm. The fruits that you yield. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. I like to say what's easy makes life harder, and what's hard to do makes life easier.
It does. It really does. It can facilitate your life so much. Mm-hmm. So I'm a proponent of that. So I tell anyone, if there's something you really want to do, no matter what it is, in film and production and anything that you want to do outside of this industry, just do it, because you only get one life.
Yeah.
So with one life, you have to do it all, because you don't want to be 80 years old looking back and saying, oh, I should have. I would have. No, you do it now.
Right. That must really feel like quote unquote hell, right? To just be like, no, I could have did this. I could have did that.
Yes. And then you realize you can't get that time back.
Yeah.
You can't get any time back. Every minute is valuable. So you have to live life as such.
So Sandra, I'm usually not into like motivational speakers, but I just feel like you have so much jewels to drop on the people. Is that something you do or plan on doing in your future?
Well, as soon as I can get everything that I have to get done, there are so many little things that I still want to do. There are a few books that I have sort of outlined to write. Yes, I can do motivational speaking. I tend to do it one-on-one with people. Okay. But at some point, I may actually put together some type of program, because I see so many people out there who just have all these things they want to do. And a lot of them get stuck because they don't know where to start. Right. But sometimes just starting shows you where to start. It's hard to explain. And then I've listened to a lot of motivational speakers. I read a lot. T.D. Jakes, for example, he once talked about how in your life you're constantly spiraling. Mm-hmm. And he said there's no such thing as spiraling at the same level. You're either spiraling up or you're spiraling down. And you don't want to ever be spiraling down, and sitting still is the same as going down.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
So
Wow.
I really believe in always trying to aspire up, no matter what you're doing. And you're going to rise, whether you believe you are or not, just because you're trying.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact. That is a whole fact. I really appreciate this, and I look forward to networking with yourself and Malcolm more in the future. I'm very glad that I met you two when I did. I'm wishing you both the best in your productions and just in life in general and all your business doings.
Yes,
Um,
thank you. I see it as a blessing.
yes, I'm very impressed at you both, and as a power couple as well. That's amazing. I just look forward to seeing what comes out of this. You know what I mean?
Yes, it can only be good. Can only
Yes.
be good.
So you two both in Queens now? That you both in New
Yes,
York
we're in
City?
Long Island City.
Hey, look at that! Look at that. All right.
Yes, yes,
Listen,
a beautiful view of Manhattan right out there.
I just want to give a little attention to my hat. It's called the QGTS. That's Queens Get the Money by the DIC brand. I am a Queens native myself from
Okay.
Far Rockaway, Queens, Peninsula, all the way in the outskirts.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to give a shout out to Queens, and that this will play as part of the installment of Queens Live at 8.
Yes.
All right. So I just want to thank you again for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
Thank
just
you for having me.
oh, this is such a pleasure. I wish it could have been longer, but I know you have things to do. I have things to do. I actually have another interview to conduct as well.
Okay.
But I hope this is not the last time we're talking. Anytime you and or Malcolm are pushing a project or have anything, please check in with me.
Okay.
I do shows. I produce other people's shows, so there are other people that would I'm more than likely want to talk to you both.
It would be great to collaborate.
I'm here for it. I'm here
Yeah.
for it. I'm
Yeah.
here for it. And
We do have other projects in the pipeline too. We have a few other completed projects. I just didn't really go into those, but yes.
right. Yeah, absolutely. And before we get out of here,
Yes.
I want you to plug other things, but before you do that, just drop another jewel on us. Like if you could say anything about being an entrepreneur and a film producer that can give somebody some encouragement and or insight, now's the moment. What do you have?
All right. Well, I would say also.
I'm sorry. I'll say I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm sure you can handle it. So.
Yes, yes, yes. No, one of the things that I also promote is to always have something else going at the same time, because in almost anything we do in life, you kind of always have to have a fallback.
Right.
And in that fallback, the goal of that should be so that you're always setting aside a little extra money or something, so that if you need an injection that you can't just reach out and get from another person, you'll have it there for yourself. So it's always important to have another stream. I always say multiple streams of income. Multiple streams are very important. So I never promote doing just one thing. Even if it's the thing you love most, you still oftentimes, unless you are independently wealthy, you still need some stream of income coming from somewhere, and you can't always get it from other people. At least that's been my experience. So you have to have your own bank. Let's just call it.
Absolutely. I like that. Have your own bank. I like that. That's dope. And anything else you want to plug that it may be in the pipeline, but it still deserves a shout out, or you want to keep that on?
Well, there's a second film that is going to be screened at the screening on December 17th.
Okay.
And it's called Jailhouse Therapist. And Malcolm also directed that one and wrote it. There's the person who wrote it gave it to him and said, "Can you sort of make this a more interesting film?" And he looked at it and did just that. So we're going to screen that one also on the set.
That's amazing.
So that's for the information that we put on for One Way In, No Way Out will also be the same information for that.
Wow, I'm blown away. That's you. You both are working really hard.
Yes, and I act in that one too.
Okay, what's your role in that one?
In that one, my name is Gloria in that, and I'm sort of someone helping the main character hide his money, launder money, literally launder money
Okay. All right. Well, don't get typecast as a criminal now. You about to
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
No, I'm playing. I'm joking. You can do what you want to do because you're
Yeah.
also a producer.
Yeah,
So you can also
that's
always be
true.
like, I want to be this in the next.
I mean, there'll be some that will come out where I'll be the good guy or the good woman who is just, living the boring life,
right.
which I've done in real life too. But sometimes I think a lot of people in the audiences are looking for something exciting.
Right.
So right now we're in the exciting phase, but I believe we also will do some more work that's more, I guess, realistic. The promotion of uplifting people just in general.
Right.
Because there are a lot of films like that seem to be on the radar right now.
Absolutely.
Make you really think. You think about life and you think about death and working. It's just the standard things of life.
Yeah.
People with disabilities and
yes.
There's a lot of that right now out there. And we could play those roles too, but right now we're just in the exciting phase.
I can dig it. Well, listen, once again, thank you again for your time. Look forward to seeing the full project and everything else that comes afterwards. You enjoy the rest of your day. I want to thank everybody who is watching and people who are watching the rebroadcast. Please share it. And I want to remind you all one more time, the link is in the description, not only for their screening, but for the virtual screenings for the virtual leg of the Queens World Film Festival at filmfestivalflix.com. Please go and check out some of these films. And to all our filmmakers out there, in the words of Catholic Cato, our founder of the Queens World Film Festival, one of two founders, don't put your cameras down. All right. Have a good one and have a good day. Good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is the Queens World Film Festival, right? So thank you again. All right. Peace.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.